What if I told you the attraction you feel isn't the problem? It's the map you're using to navigate it. Stay with me, because today you're going to hear uncomfortable truths about female psychology that very few men are willing to accept. And without that honesty, there is no real change. If you're tired of pouring in energy with no return, of unanswered messages, lukewarm dates, or confusing dynamics, what you need isn't the perfect line. You need to understand the psychological rules that govern female desire, grounded in evidence and mental frameworks that actually work. I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. Attraction isn't democratic. It doesn't respond to pleading, and it won't negotiate with a man who doesn't project value, leadership, and inner calm. The good news? All of that can be trained. We're going deep. No stories about anyone, no filler, no cheap tricks. I'm speaking directly to you, man to man, so you can rewrite your presence, your communication, and your strategy with women from the root. First, define your internal objective. You are not trying to convince anyone to choose you. You're becoming the kind of man who inevitably sparks interest. Replace, "How do I make her like me?" with "How do I align my habits, my language, my posture, my energy, and my standards so that female desire recognizes me without me pushing?" This shift is vital. Female psychology perceives congruence in microseconds: tone of voice, speaking rhythm, movement, direction in your gaze, steadiness in your breathing, clarity in your proposals. Before you think about external tactics, lock in this base. Masculine attractiveness is a compound of calm, direction, and playful challenge. Calm communicates safety. Direction organizes the interaction. Playful challenge activates the dopamine of the chase. If any one of the three is missing, you become predictable or anxious, and attraction drops. There's a core tension you must master: protection and emotion. Female psychology seeks emotional safety and, at the same time, emotional stimulation. It's not a contradiction, it's a dialectic. If you only project stability, you become boring. If you only project intensity, you become emotionally risky. The balance is a warm presence with an edge of controlled unpredictability. Train for this. Your ability to hold silence without discomfort, to modulate your voice to invite, and to use humor to release tension when the conversation heats up. This isn't improv, it's a skill you practice. Key point: female attention orients toward what it perceives as socially valuable and emotionally trustworthy. Call these perceived value and emotional reliability. Perceived value is fueled by signals of competence, self-sufficiency, purpose, quality of life, physical care, and social validation. Emotional reliability is fed by clear boundaries, consistency, impulse control, and clean communication. If you raise one and neglect the other, you sabotage your results. The high-value man without reliability looks like a risk. The reliable man without value looks like a backup option. Your job is to integrate both systems into your daily behavior. Now, pay attention to your language. Female psychology reads subtext more than text. It's not just what you say. It's the place within you you're speaking from. Avoid the justifying tone, over-explanation, selling yourself, and neediness disguised as kindness. Speak in frame statements, not permission statements. Your frame calmly and clearly organizes the shared reality. Instead of seeking approval, describe your experience and propose the next step with simplicity. Excess adjectives betray insecurity. Precise minimalism communicates conviction. Breathe, think, and deliver sentences that close loops. Cut the "please answer me" messages and replace them with clear proposals that leave room for choice. You choose the direction, but you never remove freedom. That increases your attractiveness because it shows you're not competing for control. You're offering it with maturity. Next pillar: handling congruence tests. Yes, they exist. They're not personal attacks. They're calibrators. When a woman nudges the edges of your boundary, humor, posture, or leadership, she isn't evaluating you with logic. She's reading your emotional consistency. If you react defensively, you drop. If you justify yourself, you drop. If you soften your frame to please, you drop. The most attraction-strengthening response is a blend of lightness and firmness. Lightness keeps you from getting hooked. Firmness makes it clear you won't trade your identity for crumbs of attention. When a comment brushes a boundary, hold eye contact, offer a slight smile, answer with a short line that doesn't ask permission, and pivot the topic toward the direction you're proposing. You're not competing, you're leading. You're not fighting, you're channeling. Let's talk status signaling, without confusing it with bragging. The status signal that attracts isn't ostentation, it's quiet quality, a cared-for body without obsession, clothes that fit well without screaming brands, organized schedules, clear priorities, the capacity to say no. This communicates what matters most. Your time has value and your life has traction. Female psychology is sensitive to social hierarchy and real competence. You don't need to be famous. You need to be excellent at your craft and guard your name. Reputation is an erotic asset. Protect it with your decisions. Don't let the first impression be neediness. Let it be interesting and focused. Now, the central competence, emotional regulation. Outcome anxiety destroys attraction. If your mind anticipates rejection in every interaction, your micro-behaviors will give you away. You talk faster, over-explain, laugh nervously, and ask questions fishing for validation. Train the ability to hold uncertainty. Attraction grows in gray zones. If you need immediate certainty, you remove yourself from the game. How do you train this? Gradual exposure to silence, to pauses in chat, to not responding right away. Set time windows for messages and stick to them. Draft and edit before sending. Cut excuses and rhetorical questions that beg for attention. Replace them with proposals and closes. The calm you transmit when you're not trying to calm yourself through another person is highly attractive. Here's something few say aloud. Female selection prioritizes standards. If your life doesn't reflect standards, don't expect attraction to do charity work. Visible standards, nutrition, sleep, strength training, reading habits, mastery of an economically valuable skill, a healthy social circle, order. Emotional and physical chaos can be sensed. It kills mystery and turns the interaction into work. When a man organizes his life, his presence improves before he says a word. Desire responds to that. Clean your space, schedule your days, care for your skin, your scent, your posture. Do it for yourself and understand the side effect. Female psychology interprets order as the capacity to care, and that is deeply attractive. On polarity, you don't need theatrics, you need direction. Polarity isn't rigidity, it's clarity. Make small and medium decisions without fearing a wrong step. Propose a place, a time, an activity. A leader reduces mental load, and that's appreciated. The constant question, what do you want to do, passes off responsibility and lowers desire because you slip into the role of a boy asking for instructions. Replace it with, let's do X at Y, sending the location. And if she can't, offer a direct alternative. Leadership isn't imposition, it's facilitation. Female psychology responds to the sense that with your presence, life becomes easier and more alive at the same time. A delicate but real point, social proof and pre-selection. Women quickly perceive whether you're someone others enjoy being around. This isn't posturing, it's the imprint you leave on your environment. Build your social skill, not to impress, but to create good energy around you. Notice how you treat service staff, how you listen, how you say thank you. Those signals speak to your character and project a future. Female attraction isn't just about the moment, it reads the storyline. What kind of life grows around you? Let's get to conversation. Forget interrogations. Connection doesn't emerge from stacking questions. It comes from alternating curiosity with perspective. Use the 70-30 principle. 70% focused on her, not as an auditor, but as an explorer. 30% revealing your worldview with brief learning anecdotes or sensory descriptions of things you enjoy. Avoid control questions. Use exploration questions. Go light on why. Try, what caught your attention about? That opens doors. Listen for real. Don't stuff silences with anxiety. When you share, do it with concrete images instead of inflated adjectives. Instead of, I'm very adventurous, describe a sensory scene from an activity you actually practice and why it moves you. Don't recite feats, share processes. About humor, use it like a scalpel, not a hammer. Light irony, wordplay, gentle exaggeration, and agree and amplify diffuse tension and show mental agility. Avoid put-downs and avoid becoming a clown. The most attractive humor flows from your calm. When you feel enough, you don't need to ridicule anyone to shine. Design dates with intention. Create an arc, relaxed opener, light movement-friendly activity, a space with moderate stimuli for conversation, and a close that suggests a continuation. Avoid extremely noisy places or complicated logistics early on. Arrive with time to spare. Check small details like lighting and seating. Choose a table that lets you sit at an angle, not face-to-face like an interrogation. On the date, manage the tempo. Don't rush the connection. Desire cooks on medium heat. Observe breathing, gestures, congruence. Hold soft eye contact. Lower your voice when entering intimate terrain. Raise it slightly when you share something funny. Vocal quality is erotic. You don't need magic lines. You need to sound like a man at peace. Escalating physical contact, always by carefully reading signals and with explicit consent when taking a meaningful step. Signs of openness often combine physical proximity, her frequent touch toward you, playing with her hair, sustained glances at your mouth, positive responses to brief touches on the forearm or upper back, and oriented body language. If any sign withdraws, you withdraw. Ethics is part of attractiveness. Don't drain the moment with anxiety. Invite with a direct, elegant line. Respect doesn't kill desire. It amplifies it, because it reduces threat and lets sensuality flow. If the response is ambiguous, don't push. The man who can wait without taking offense wins long-term. Messaging. Stop using chat as a substitute for presence. Messages are a bridge, not a base camp. Use them to signal intent and coordinate. Avoid digital monologues. Effective texts are brief, clear, a touch sensory or visual and directional. Don't get into aimless late-night text marathons. Define communication windows and honor them. If the conversation cools, don't chase. Propose and step back. Don't repeat invitations more than twice without a concrete yes. Silence communicates too. Value your energy. A hard reminder: female attraction isn't fair in terms of proportional effort. It's not, I give this much, so I receive that much. It's who I am, how I vibrate, and what standards I uphold. Female psychology doesn't reward insistence. It rewards quality presence. If your own life doesn't excite you, it's unfair to expect someone else's to be excited by you. Invest in becoming a man who respects himself, trains, learns, contributes, and laughs at himself. That magnetism is quiet, but palpable. It isn't a facade, it's a root. On attachment styles, the anxious pursues, reads silence as rejection, and self-sabotages. The avoidant runs from intimacy and confuses independence with disconnection. The secure regulates emotion, states needs without drama, and listens without turning into a therapist. Your job isn't to diagnose anyone, it's to recognize and work your own patterns. If you see anxious traits, fill your schedule with projects that deliver real wins, reduce social media after dates, and practice diaphragmatic breathing before replying. If you notice avoidant traits, train micro-openings. Share what you feel without giving a lecture. Tolerate closeness a bit past your comfort. Learn to receive affection without undercutting it with irony. Female psychology detects emotional safety. Without it, you might attract, but you won't sustain. Let's talk desire. Female desire is highly contextual. Environment, narrative, energy, scent, the texture of your voice, your rhythm. Mind the details that aren't seen but are felt. Impeccable hygiene, well-kept hands, a fragrance that doesn't shout, a neat beard or shave. Fix your posture, shoulders back, chest open, horizontal gaze. Move with intention, not hurry. When you speak, leave micro-pauses before landing important ideas. It's hypnotic. A body speaking the same language as your mouth is one of those harsh but real keys almost no one practices. On criteria and boundaries. Have standards for entry and for continuity. Not every spark deserves investment. Observe. Respect for your time, consistency, communication, openness to your leadership, reciprocity. If they're consistently missing, do yourself a favor. End it with elegance. Don't turn chronic resistance into a rescue project. Female psychology respects the man who knows how to leave. Leaving on time saves you years. Daily mental training for polarity and calm. Upon waking, review 3 tactical goals for the day and 1 strategic goal for your life. Feed and train your body before stepping into the dating arena. A regulated body is your best ally for presence. Practice 10 minutes of voice work by reading a demanding text out loud to model rhythm, diction, and breath. Practice eye contact with yourself in the mirror. Hold your gaze without stiffness for 60 seconds. Slight smile, relaxed jaw. It's nerve training. Learn to be comfortable in discomfort, because discomfort is the gym where your charisma is built. In social circles, apply the host principle. Even if you didn't organize the event, behave like the person who improves the experience for others. Introduce people, ask with real curiosity, and share vision with economy of words. Don't compete for attention. Generate attention through quality. Female psychology values the man who upgrades the context, not just himself. Let's face a truth some avoid. There's a biological selection component. Without reducing everything to biology, your strength, body composition, hormonal health, and daily energy influence how you're perceived. The man who is exhausted, inflamed, sleep-deprived, and never gets sunlight tends to project dullness, and dullness kills magnetism. Fix the basics. Enough protein, strength training 3 to 4 times a week, daily walks, hydration, deep sleep, mornings with natural light. Don't do it to please, do it for dignity. The aesthetic result and the energy you emit will be a byproduct that female psychology picks up immediately. Adjust your relationship with validation. Stop chasing responses to soothe insecurity. If a reply doesn't come, read the data. Don't invent a story. If it arrives lukewarm, answer with lukewarm or step back. If it's clear, invest. The man who needs hourly value confirmations is draining. The woman who prefers a regulated man isn't being cold. She's protecting her nervous system. Make your presence a place where she can relax and ignite, not an attention exam. Communicating desire with elegance. Express attraction without neediness. Describe what you like with precision and boundaries. Don't objectify. Name qualities that blend physical cues with energy. Avoid generic prefab compliments. Aim for the specific without putting her on a pedestal. Female psychology distinguishes a conscious compliment from a lack dressed up as flattery. If you put her on an altar, you put yourself on the floor. Equal dignity doesn't mean equal energy. You bring direction, not adoration. Follow-up strategy after a strong connection. Maintain continuity without flooding. The next day, send a brief message that recalls an image or sensation from the date and a concrete plan to meet again. Avoid emotional questionnaires. Give space. Trust your attractiveness. If anxiety creeps in, return to your body. Train, work, create. Desire grows when it has air. A critical section. Don't leave your progress to luck. Build a 30-day plan to retrain your attraction psychology. Week 1. Physical and mental order. Clean your environment radically. Set sleep schedules, cut obvious distractions, lift weights 3 times, walk daily. Week 2. Voice, posture, gaze, eye contact. Read out loud daily, practice pauses, record your voice, and adjust. Week 3. Intentional conversations. Each day, create 1 new brief interaction. No outcome pressure, focused on opening and closing with elegance. Week 4. Dates with a clear arc. Plan 2 experiences you can run logistically. Simple, aesthetic, with room for movement and conversation. After each date, write 2 learnings. What frame you held well and what you'll adjust. This plan isn't glamorous, it's transformative. Female psychology isn't fooled by promises. It responds to your actual metamorphosis. Don't ignore red flags. If you sense manipulation, power games that cross your dignity, covert contempt, or chronic inconsistency, don't negotiate your peace. Attraction doesn't justify losing yourself. True masculinity doesn't need to fix anyone. Protect yourself with boundaries. Your energy is your most valuable asset. Give it where there is honor, or you weaken yourself, and that weakening makes you less attractive everywhere. Back to the core, presence. Presence is the art of being in your body, your voice, and your gaze at the same time, without jumping ahead or self-editing. Train this in small doses. When you walk, feel the soles of your feet. When you speak, feel the air leaving and entering. When you listen, actually listen. Female psychology feels safe when you are present, and attracted when that presence carries a playful edge. You are calm plus direction. Always. Here's a decision framework for every interaction. Intention, invitation, interpretation. First, check your intention. Do you want to genuinely connect or just soothe a momentary insecurity? If it's the latter, pause. Second, craft a clear invitation, a gesture, a line, a proposal that moves the story forward. Third, interpret the response without drama. Yes is yes, no is no, maybe is no for now. This framework strips away anxiety and positions you as an adult. Desire flourishes on adult ground. It dies in the soil of the wounded boy begging for rescue. Be strategic with your social exposure. Increase the probability of quality encounters by choosing environments that reflect your values and lifestyle. If you train, spend time in spaces where health and aesthetics coexist. If you learn, move through cultural, creative, or professional contexts that expand you. Female psychology immediately senses when you belong in a setting by real competence, not imposture. Accept this harsh but real reality. No line, technique, or trick compensates for a lack of self-respect. You can learn frames, calibration, and tactics, but if at the end of the day you betray yourself, your body language will tell the truth. That's why the most advanced seduction is alignment. When your words, your gestures, and your path all point in the same direction, desire finds you. When they don't, it avoids you, no matter how pretty you talk. Now, visualize yourself 6 months from now if you apply this with discipline. You're stronger, more ordered, more focused. You speak less and say more. You've released your fixation on outcomes, knowing your presence, humor, direction, and ethics are enough to open doors. You choose better, invest where there's reciprocity, offer leadership with tenderness, and boundaries with calm. That man doesn't chase validation. He generates attraction by inertia. And yes, that's the point. Stop pursuing and become the magnet. To close, engrave this. Female desire responds to states, not excuses. Your state is trainable. Your voice can be tuned. Your body can be sculpted. Your schedule can be organized. Your conversation can be cleaned up. Your boundaries can be refined. Your standards can become visible. Don't ask the world to pay you for intentions. The world pays for results. And the result in attraction is your total presence. If you integrate calm, direction, and playful challenge, if you respect your energy, choose with dignity, and lead with softness, you'll experience a transformation that doesn't need noise to be obvious. That's the hidden truth of female psychology. Attraction isn't begged for. It's generated through congruence. Stand up, edit yourself, and step into the world as the version of you that doesn't argue with reality. You direct it. Because when you get yourself in order, desire recognizes you. And when desire recognizes you, the game changes forever.